at about 40 miles per hour. So coming up on your screen now are some of the estimated times of when this storm could be arriving to a few different locations. So by around 5:30, could be moving toward Dents Run, Hicks Run by around 5:34 p.m. this evening, and 5:40 just at the end of this warning. It'll be making its way into Cameron County. By around 5:40, we are looking at this storm moving into Castle Garden. So this storm does have a history of producing some damage. We're going to actually turn on the storm reports and see what this storm has done so far. So we'll clear this out and look at some of the local storm reports. In Ridgeway, where this storm was tracking from, we saw wind gusts up to about 70 miles per hour, and there were reports of trees down throughout Ridgeway. So this is that same storm that we're seeing now, moving off to the east at about 40 miles per hour. So we're going to erase that and show where this storm is heading. So areas highlighted in that red polygon that you see on your screen is where this storm is heading if you are within this area. So maybe even traveling along 555 into Caledonia, just outside of this warning, and into Hicks Run over about the next half hour or so. If you are driving, definitely going to want to pull over, get to a safer spot than a car during this tornado warning. Also driving onto 255 included in this, and just outside of St. Mary's. This storm just passed through that area, brought some heavy rainfall, also seeing quite a bit of lightning with this storm as well. So we are going to turn on the velocity here and see where we are seeing indications of rotation with this storm. So it was just to the south or to the southeast of the St. Mary's Airport. Rotation not looking too strong right now, but definitely is there, and this will be pushing off to the southeast at about 40 miles per hour. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for the same area. That's also including St. Mary's into Horizon and then also into Cameron County. So right now, areas just to the southeast of St. Mary's have to be concerned about this tornado warning. If you are within this polygon, definitely going to want to get to your safe space, which would be a basement, interior room if you don't have a basement, into a hallway, and if you are driving, it's definitely going to want to pull over and get to a safer spot. So here's a look at the radar loop over about the past hour or so of what where this storm is heading. So right now we're just going to loop back around for viewers that may be joining us onto ABC and Fox. We are under a tornado warning. This is for portions of Elk County, and then also we'll be moving into Cameron County over about the next 20 minutes or so. This warning was issued just a couple of minutes ago and will be in effect for about the next 20 minutes. This warning will expire at around 5:45 p.m. this evening. So from the National Weather Service, this is a radar-indicated tornado, so we are seeing just indications of rotation on the radar, but outside of the rotation, still seeing some very heavy rainfall with this storm and also the possibility for some large hail. We were seeing reports of up to $half size hail with this storm and also some gusty winds, up to about 70 miles per hour, and this is moving off to the east at about 40 miles per hour. So we'll put a storm cone back on this. If you are just joining us, we do have a tornado warning in effect for portions of Elk County and then moving into Cameron County over about the next half hour. The storm moving to the east at about 40 miles per hour. So coming up on your screen now are some of the estimated times of when this storm could be arriving to a few towns listed here. By around 5:30, this storm will be approaching Hicks Run. By 5:33 this evening, this will be approaching Mix Run, Driftwood by around 5:38, and then there will be just a couple of more minutes left on that warning once it's approaching those areas. So coming from the National Weather Service, seeing some hail with this storm as well. This storm was located just south of the St. Mary's Airport, moving east at about 40 miles per hour. And this storm did have a history of producing some damage. Into Ridgeway, we saw wind gusts up to about 70 miles per hour, and we haven't had any reports of a tornado on the ground yet. We're just seeing that radar-indicated rotation. So we are going to take off this and put the velocity back on and see where we could be seeing some of this rotation. So the area under the tornado warning is in the red polygon. Areas highlighted in that yellow and the orange are under a severe thunderstorm warning. So still seeing that severe weather off to the northwest portions of our viewing area, and this will continue pushing off to the southeast, heading through the rest of this evening. So not seeing any major indications of rotation, some light rotation with this storm, but definitely possible for a tornado to occur as we head through the rest of this evening. Conditions are very favorable. We've been very hot and humid throughout today. Atmosphere is very unstable. So throughout the rest of this evening, we do have a tornado watch in effect for the rest of the area. This is in effect through 11 o'clock this evening. We still have a tornado warning in effect right now, though, for portions of Elk County just to the southeast of St. Mary's. So a watch, the conditions are favorable. Warning means a tornado is happening or is imminent, and we are seeing indications of that on the radar right now. So here's a look at the radar loop over the past hour or so. Seeing that severe weather into the northwestern portion of our viewing area. Plenty of lightning along with this storm as well, and we were watching this on our tower camera in St. Mary's. It looked like a pretty powerful storm coming through, some gusty winds, very heavy rain, and that's what's moving into the southeastern portions of Elk County. So we are going to turn off the lightning here so we can get a better view at this storm, seeing some very heavy rainfall and those indications of rotation. This severe thunder, or this tornado warning rather, is in effect until about 5:45 this evening, so we have just about 15 more minutes left on this storm. We are seeing some radar indicated rotation. No reports from the National Weather Service of any sort of confirmed tornado on the ground yet, just seeing those indications of rotation on the radar. So if you are within this tornado warning, could see some flying debris, some very strong wind gusts, some heavy rainfall, and also the possibility for some large hail within this storm. It does have a history of producing damage into Ridgeway, and now we are going to toss it over to Tim for a look at some safety tips of what you should do if you're in this tornado warning, but also the severe thunderstorm warnings that are in effect for our area.
All right, Kate, thanks. We also welcome our Fox 8 and 23 viewers. Again, we welcome our Fox 8 and 23 viewers as we continue to track the severe weather in our region, and we'll get back to Kate in a moment. But things you want to remember, you want to get to the lowest level in your house. You want to make sure you get to the center of the room and don't go to the windows and try to watch the storm. You're better off protected. That's the first thing you want to keep in mind when we have this type of weather. And then here's a look. You can see where, you don't want to be outside on your deck, that's for sure. You want to be inside, preferably in the center of the house if possible, any well-protected areas, and also you can make your way to the basement as well if you have one. So that's really the best place to go. So you want to avoid windows, doors, outside walls, cover yourself with blankets or a mattress for protection if it gets really severe. And again, the safest place to be is in the basement. Now, these storms are moving through the northern region of our coverage area, and Kate has been tracking that and will continue to track it. As long as this tornado warning is ongoing, we will stay with it to make sure that you are aware of the very latest information as this severe weather makes its way through our region. Let's go back to Kate to see what she has updated for us. Kate?
All right, so we are going to jump back to the radar right now. Here's a radar loop over the past half an hour or so. We will go over to the wall here for a closer look at what's going on. We have that severe weather just off to our northwestern portions of our viewing area. Severe thunderstorm warnings in effect, but also a tornado warning was just issued just a little bit ago for portions of Elk County. That is in effect until 5:45 p.m. this evening. So zooming in a little bit closer, seeing quite a bit of lightning with this storm. That tornado warning is in effect for portions of Elk County and then going to be moving into Cameron County as we head through this evening. So here's a look at the velocity. That's where we're seeing that radar indicated rotation up into portions of Elk County, and that's what we're going to be seeing over the next about 15 minutes or so until this tornado warning is allowed to expire. So we are going to zoom in just a little bit closer here and get a closer look at this storm, turn the lightning off so we can see that, and I'll circle the area that we are looking at where we are seeing indications of rotation. So we'll point this out. This is the area right here is where we're seeing the radar indicated rotation. No confirmed reports from the National Weather Service of any tornado on the ground just yet. Just seeing that radar indicated rotation on the radar. This storm is capable of producing a tornado and was located just south of the St. Mary's Airport. And once again, this storm is moving off to the east at about 40 miles per hour. So this will be moving through Elk County and then eventually into portions of Cameron County as this warning does continue or is allowed to expire by around 5:45. So here's a look at what we are looking at on the satellite and radar. Severe weather, mainly off to the northwest portions of our viewing area. We had that storm move through St. Mary's, and that's the same storm that is within this tornado warning. It did produce some damage into Ridgeway, knocked some trees down. We were seeing wind gusts up to about 70 miles per hour. Now that storm has strengthened a bit, and we are seeing the possibility for a tornado, which is why this tornado warning was issued and will be in effect for about the next 15 minutes. So turning off that lightning, we are seeing some very heavy rainfall and also the possibility for some large hail within this storm, as well as that rotation. So this will be moving off to the northeast, or to the east rather, at about 40 miles per hour. We will put a storm cone back on this to see where this storm will be heading. We'll put it right about here where that storm was located over about the next 15 minutes or so up until this warning is allowed to expire. So coming up on your screen right now, a list of some of the towns that are included in this tornado warning and where this storm will be heading till about the time that this warning will be allowed to expire. So moving into Dents Run by around 5:39, then into Hicks Run by around 5:42 p.m. So if you are within this tornado warning, definitely going to want to get to your safe space if you're not there already, and pay attention to the latest radar and the updates on this storm. So we are going to take off this storm cone and zoom in a little bit closer to some roadways that may be affected by this storm. So driving on 555, 255, if you're in this storm cone, definitely going to want to pull over and get to a much safer spot. Also 948 moving into that area, or just traveling anywhere to the south and east of St. Mary's. That's where we're seeing this severe weather move through, and also the possibility for a tornado. So radar indicated rotation is within that storm, seeing some signs of the rotation on the radar as well. So we are going to take away the lightning here so we can see, and I will circle the area that we're looking at for the possibility for that radar indicated rotation. So just to the south and east of St. Mary's, that's the area that the National Weather Service was looking at when they issued this warning. I'm seeing radar indicated rotation, heavy rainfall, and also quite a bit of lightning with this storm, which that doesn't play into a severe thunderstorm warning or even a tornado warning, but just also something to keep in mind as we head through the rest of this evening. Likely going to be a very active evening ahead, so we will take this off. And then for the rest of the area, we'll just loop back around to what's going on for much of the area. We do have a tornado warning in effect for portions of Elk County until 5:45, severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Jefferson County, and also into Elk and Cameron counties until 6 o'clock, seeing some heavy rainfall, some large hail, and some very gusty winds along with that. But for the rest of the area, right now that severe weather is only centered into the northwestern portions of our area, but we do have a tornado watch in effect for the entire area through around 11 o'clock this evening. That's for all of the counties that are highlighted in yellow, and then for the areas that are not under the tornado warning, or tornado watch rather, we do have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for the counties that are highlighted in pink, and that's until 9 o'clock this evening. So if you are just joining us, we do have a tornado warning in effect for portions of Elk County, also severe thunderstorm warnings just off to our north and west as well. This was issued about 10 to 15 minutes ago, and we just have about 10 to 15 minutes left on this warning. So this storm did have a history of producing some damage. We'll pull that up on the radar. As this storm moved through Ridgeway, there were quite a few reports of widespread damage of trees and wires down. So also the possibility for power outages is there throughout this evening. So if you are in these severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings, going to be a very good idea to keep any devices charged so you have a way to receive warnings heading through the rest of this afternoon into this evening, because we're already seeing trees down on wires into Ridgeway, and that storm is what's producing this tornado warning right now. So we'll take that storm report off and get a better look at where this tornado warning is in effect for. Just to the southeast of St. Mary's is where this storm was heading. This will continue pushing off to the east as we head through tonight. So we'll put on the storm cone once again of where this will be heading, moving off to the east at about 40 miles per hour. There haven't been any new updates from the National Weather Service now, so still going to go with moving to the east at about 40 miles per hour. So coming up on your screen now is a list of some towns that this will be heading toward over the next 10 minutes or so while this warning is in effect. Around 5:41, we're looking at this storm heading toward Dents Run, Hicks Run, and then Mix Run at about 5:47. So if you are in any of these towns or in this red polygon that you see on your screen, you are definitely going to want to get to your safe space now if you're not already there, which that does include a basement. If you have one, would be the best place to go, but then also into an interior room if you interior room or a hallway. Definitely not going to be wanting to look at this storm through any windows, and if you are outside, going to want to get to a sturdier building, especially if you know anybody driving within this storm. So avoid windows, doors, and outside walls, and also cover yourself with blankets or mattresses for protection. And if you do have a helmet, it would also be a good idea to put that on as well, as we are seeing the possibility for a tornado within this storm. So here's a look at the radar once again. A little bit of an area was chipped off of that tornado warning, so we'll turn off the lightning so we can get a better look at that. And so now that's we're looking at a smaller tornado warning now. It was allowed to expire for the areas off to the north and west. So this storm is continuing to move off to the east at about 40 miles per hour. So now really just outside of Hicks Run, Driftwood just on the outside of this warning as well, seeing some heavy rainfall, plenty of lightning with this as well, and still seeing that radar indicated rotation. Also including 555, Summerson. If you're in any of those areas, definitely going to get into your safe space if you're not already there, and stay with us for about the next 10 minutes. We are going to stick with you, giving you updates on this severe weather until this warning is allowed to expire. So right now, tornado warning in effect for southeastern Elk County. This went into effect about 10 minutes ago. Still seeing some of that radar indicated rotation, but now we are going to toss it over to Tim for a look at some safety tips of what you should do if you are within this severe weather.
Okay, thank you, Kate. And again, we welcome in our viewers from Fox 8 and ABC 23. Thanks for being with us as we continue to follow the severe weather as it moves through the area. Again, we want to remind you that if you're in your homes, stay in a safe place. You want to be in the lowest level of your home if possible. And if you can, stay in the center of the room. And things you do not want to do, you don't want to be outside trying to get video of this or take pictures of the storm as it goes through. Safety comes first, so you want to protect yourself. Again, get to a hall in the middle of the house. Get somewhere surrounded where you know it's sturdy. If you have a basement, that is indeed the place to go. But avoid windows, doors, and outside walls. Cover yourself with blankets or mattresses for protection. And again, the safest place to be is in the basement. Now, once this severe weather moves through your area and it's safe to go out, if you find damage out there and you want to send pictures to us at our Facebook page, we would appreciate that. But that is, again, once the storm moves through. We don't want you out in the storm trying to get pictures. Again, the National Weather Service has been providing this tornado warning to the people to the northern area of our coverage area, and that means a developing tornado has been detected by the National Weather Service, and it's been reported on the ground by reliable sources, or they believe it is capable of forming a tornado. Now, if it's issued for your county, you should seek shelter immediately, and we gave you those safety tips. If you see a tornado or live near an area and feel threatened, you want to move to a safe place immediately. Seconds count. You want to save your life. And if you have a home or small business, go to the basement or a small interior room such as a closet, bathroom, or interior hallway without windows. On the lowest level, put as many walls between yourself and the outside as possible. And if possible, get under something sturdy such as a heavy table or a mattress to protect yourself from flying debris. Most injuries associated with high winds are from flying debris, so remember to protect your head. If available, you can even, some people put on a bicycle helmet or a motorcycle helmet when severe weather moves through. There's nothing wrong with that to protect yourself. Again, if you're in a large business, school, hospital, or shopping center, or factory, again, go to the designated sheltered area. If a shelter area is not available, the best place to go, interior hallways as always, and the lowest level. Stay away from weaker portions of buildings such as windows and rooms with expansive roofs, which are more likely to collapse when tornadoes strike. And again, with this warning, the National Weather Service says hail could cause some damage to vehicles. There's also high winds going through. You could have some tree damage, and as Kate mentioned, power outages as well. So again, if you're in a mobile home, that there's likely could be damage there. So you do want to protect yourself from this tornado warning as it makes its way through, and it's going to expire in about 6 minutes unless something changes before then. But for now, let's send it back over to Kate to see where we stand.
Alrighty, so here's a look at where this storm is heading. We did actually just get an update from the National Weather Service. As of about 4 minutes ago, this storm was located over Hicks Run and still moving to the east at about 40 miles per hour. So this storm continuing to move to the east at around 40 miles per hour, producing some very heavy rainfall and also quite a bit of lightning. And while that isn't under the criteria for a severe thunderstorm warning or even a tornado warning, that is definitely something to keep in mind with this severe weather. So that area of very heavy rainfall just beginning to move out of the tornado warned area. So this tornado warning is in effect for portions of Elk County and then also moving into Cameron County. This is in effect for about the next 5 minutes or so. So I will put a storm cone back on here to show where the storm will be heading. Still moving off to the east at about 40 miles per hour. And this will, at this point, be after the point of expiration for this. So coming up on your screen now, this storm was located just over Hicks Run. So that's where we're seeing that radar indicated rotation from the National Weather Service moving toward Mix Run at about 5:45 and then into Castle Gardens after this warning expires. But still, this storm does have a history of producing some damage and will likely continue producing some lightning, heavy rainfall, gusty winds, and some hail. And then by around 5:50 this evening, we are looking at this storm moving into Driftwood. So we're going to take off that storm cone there and take a look at where this storm is heading over the next couple of minutes or so. So we are going to zoom back out here and take a look at the bigger picture. We still have outside of this tornado warning is a severe thunderstorm warning. So that's where this storm is going to be heading after this warning expires. This is in effect until 6:15 p.m. So we'll also put a storm cone on this because there's still some gusty winds within this storm and some very heavy rainfall. This moving off to the southeast at just about the same 40 miles per hour. So Twin Hollows by around 5:55, and this warning is in effect until 6:15 p.m. So definitely a very, very active afternoon. Right now we have a tornado warning in effect for portions of Elk County. Severe thunderstorm warning moving into Elk County, Clearfield, Cameron, and also into Center County. So throughout the rest of this evening, while much of the area right now isn't seeing any rain at all, we still are going to see the threat for severe weather and tornadoes through this evening. So the rest of the area is under a tornado watch. That is in effect through 11 o'clock tonight. That's for the areas that are highlighted in pink. Area highlighted in red is our tornado warning. Difference between a watch and a warning: watch, the conditions are favorable. It's possible that it could happen, but a warning means it's imminent or it is happening at this moment. Still haven't had any confirmation from the National Weather Service if a tornado was confirmed on the ground, but we still are seeing that radar indicated rotation. So we also have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect through 9 o'clock this evening. That is for the counties that are highlighted in pink. So we have just a couple of minutes left on this tornado warning. It is set to expire at around 5:45. We've had some areas chipped off of that tornado warning. It was in effect was spotted just to the southeast of the St. Mary's Airport. So zooming in a little bit closer here, taking off the lightning, I'll circle the area that we're looking at for that radar indicated rotation. Looks like it is beginning to weaken a little bit, not looking as strong as what it was when this tornado warning was just issued, as we have just a couple of minutes left on this. So the area that's highlighted in red here and that I'm circling is that tornado warning. Just a couple of minutes left on that, and that is moving to the east at around 40 miles per hour. And this storm did have a history of already producing some damage into Ridgeway. Saw some downed trees, downed power lines. So if you are within any of these severe thunderstorm warnings that we're seeing out there now, or the tornado warning, going to want to stay inside, get to your safe space, but also prepare for a possible power outage. We're seeing wind gusts up to about 70 miles per hour, so keep devices charged and make sure you have a way to receive warnings throughout the rest of this evening. So right now, we are seeing that more active weather into the northwestern portions of our area. Rest of the area seeing some sunshine, but still, we do have that threat for severe weather sticking with us through around 9 o'clock or so tonight. So definitely going to want to be weather aware over the next couple of hours. Have a way to receive those watches and warnings, but this warning should expire in just about a minute or so. Tornado warning in effect for portions of Elk County, but after this does expire, if it is allowed to expire at 5:45 like it's scheduled to, this storm is going to continue moving off to the east-southeast at about 40 miles per hour. So it will be moving into Clearfield County, into Cameron, and then eventually making its way into Center County. These storms have a history of producing some wind gusts up to about 70 miles per hour, and also the possibility for some large hail along with this storm. So that's where we're looking at that radar indicated rotation beginning to weaken as this warning is set to expire in just about a minute. So we're going to loop back around of what's going on across much of the area. Severe weather right now centered into Elk, Clearfield, making its way into Center County, and that's where we're going to see that severe weather move in first. This storm system will continue pushing off to the south and east as we head through the rest of today, and that's why we keep that chance for severe weather with us throughout the rest of the area. So tornado watch in effect for the counties that are highlighted in yellow here. That is until 11 o'clock this evening. Better chance for some severe weather for our area going to be before around 9 o'clock, and also a severe thunderstorm watch is in effect through 9 o'clock for the areas that are highlighted in pink. So here's a look at what's going on satellite and radar right now. That tornado warning was allowed to expire. So we are going to keep you updated throughout the rest of this evening if any more warnings do come up. And we want to thank you for joining us on ABC, Fox, and also NBC for this coverage. And now we're going to toss it back to a break, and we'll be right back.